Biden and his Democrats always claim that they are the party for women's rights. Well, I think this couldn't be further from the truth. They go about this, though, in a way where they say, well, you know, we are pro-choice. We're all about abortion. Yet they won't give terms as to what that looks like. All they say is, all we know is that it needs to be between the doctor and his patient, but they won't say anything about late-term abortions. So, for instance, in states like Colorado, there is a good chance that if you want a full-term abortion, you could get it. They also claim to be for women's rights on the whole gender gap with pay, right? But this is always so convoluted. Every single time that they come out about saying how women are paid so much less than men, their statistics don't really line up, where a majority of the time, they'll take a woman who is earning part-time salary compared to a man who's earning full-time salary, and that's where they get that gap.
What is the gender workplace hours gap?
We annualise our figure to full-time, so we look at all part-time employees and full-time employees that may have worked part of a 12-month period, and we annualise that data to take into account part-time hours. So therefore we're converting the part-time hours to full-time, if you like.
So do you take into account the fact that on average a male full-time employee works longer hours than a female full-time employee?
Not directly, no.
You don't.
Now, I have said before, and I'll say many times, that I am always for equal pay. It doesn't matter on your gender. It doesn't matter on your race. You should get paid the same for someone else in that same position, unless you have a little bit more qualifications. So, for instance, let's say you have a teacher. I know there's a lot of teachers who do end up getting their master's because they want to get paid more, as compared to someone who is getting their bachelor's. These are the two main ways that the Democrats always say that they are pro-women's rights. I will argue, though, that conservatives and I hate using the word Republicans because they are so swampy anymore, but we have a plan in place where we can be the most pro-women rights in the last few decades. First things first, I'm going to cover something, because a big reason why I did this video is because this last weekend, my wife had a competition. It was a women's competition, and what it was essentially like a lifting competition. So they were competing at different stations. I think there was 4 different stations. You had a different amount of reps you had to do, a certain type of exercise, and all this stuff, and it was freaking awesome. My wife has been practicing for this for a couple months, and I did not realize how awesome this was. The biggest reason why it was so awesome was how empowering it was for women. You got to sit here and watch these women persevere, their dedication they put into this competition, and there was so much more than that. It was just, this wasn't like a Mean Girl scene where, you know, you got some girls who were looking down on the other girls because they couldn't do it quite as fast or quite as much as the ones that were on top. Everyone was cheering and empowering everyone. This was a scene of women coming together and strengthening themselves as a group. It didn't matter how much faster someone was. It didn't matter how much stronger anyone was. Everyone was cheering for everyone. And towards the end, when some women were finishing, they were tired. They were exhausted. They were crying, but women were cheering them on. They were hugging them after the fact. It was truly amazing. And one of the best parts about this entire competition is that there was no biological men in it claiming to be women. This is the platform that so many conservatives should be running on a consistent basis. The Democrats are out to destroy womanhood, so much so they can't even describe what a woman is.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
The meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the law and I decide.
Well,
so I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
If you claim to be a woman, then apparently you are a woman. Real quick, guys, I will get back into this conversation, but first things first, if you do love this content or if you do want to follow along, kind of see what I ramble about in any future events to come, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, maybe give me a thumbs up. notification bell. That way you're notified every single time that I put out a new video. Let's get back to this topic right now. They completely throw out scientific fact, where you have XY and XX chromosomes, something that is scientifically based, which is funny because the Democrat Party claimed all through COVID that they are the party of science. Yeah, okay.
And we know that science has a role. And without science in our decision making, we are not going to be on a very successful path.
This is a platform that the conservatives should be running on consistently, all the time, because this is the largest attack on women. You have biological men claiming to be women who are getting scholarships in place of an actual woman, who are winning competitions in place of an actual woman, who are taking leadership roles in companies and in the government claiming that they are a woman. These are biological men taking the positions of strong women. And I don't understand. The Republicans are such a freaking mess. They piss me off all the time. That's why I will not associate myself with them. That's why I consider myself a conservative. This is such a pinnacle moment to take back women's rights. Women are under attack right now. And the Democrat Party is more than okay with bringing someone like Dylan Mulvaney, who puts shame to women. The caricature that he puts out there, this is how women act, is complete BS. He pretty much took a scenario from Legally Blonde, your dumb, nitwitted ideology of what a woman looks like. And like, oh man, this guy, according to them, this woman right here, it's so brave, what he, she did or whatever. It blows my mind that Democrats are so on board with this, but it blows my mind even more that Republicans will not hone in on this. This is the biggest attack on women's rights. And anytime a Democrat brings it up to a Republican, they need to throw it back in their face. You know what? Pro-choice, I understand you. We have some that are pro-life. We could have a discussion about that. The gender pay gap, we could have a discussion about that as well too. This, we will stand firm on. These are women. These are not women. Stop classifying biological men where they take this terminology away from women. My wife breastfed both of our children. It was beautiful. So stop calling it chest feeding, because a male cannot lactate. They cannot do that unless you guys have some crazy surgery that you're going to try and do in the future, just like you're trying to put a uterus in a man. Republicans need to stand up for women's rights, because this is bullshit. Women are under attack right now, and we as a society need to come together and say this is not okay. Our daughters, our wives, our sisters, our mothers, they are under attack. If a biological male wants to go out there and do whatever they need to do to become a woman, then go ahead, do you, all right? I have that idea where it's like, if you want to do something crazy like that, I'm not going to judge you whatsoever. You do you. But you should not be allowed in a bathroom with my little girl just because you claim to be a woman. You still need to go over to the male bathroom. This country really needs to come together and strike down this bullshit, because that is exactly what it is. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Got a little heated in this one today. I do ask that you follow along if you do love this content, and I will see you on the next one.